I don't know if you're ready, Belnar, but I certainly am.
I am.
That's
You
good
can
stuff.
bet your everything that I am ready. All right, jumping into the game. Would you introduce the players? You have not introduced anybody today.
Okay, well, in the upper left-hand corner, we do have the pink Protoss player representing the Fnatic Academy here. You can see their big list of sponsors on the screen. He is going to be pink. The Danish Protoss player who just gets better and better. Probably the third best player in Denmark right now, I would say. Behind Bunny, behind Baby Knight. I don't think you could
Hmm.
argue anyone else. Well, you could probably argue someone else, but I'd have to disagree with you. Unless you have
And
anyone, Bell, no.
in the
But
top right, we have from Team Dignitas. It is the very well liked Korean player. It's going to be Dignitas Select. He's very well known, of course, for his Subson sign that he did at every tournament when he won. And this is going to be a pretty close match because the win ratio for these guys in their respective matchups, I'm talking about PvT and TvP, is just around 56% for Select's TvP and 57% for Fnatic Pink's PvT. So they're slightly above 50% ratio here. And even, it's the numbers are very close. Now, they have not played in an official tournament versus one another before, ever, in the past, because Select, he stopped playing and stopped going to premiere events in 2012, and Pink just came up on the radar in 2013. So this is more than likely their first encounter. It's going to be very interesting.
yeah, interesting indeed, especially because we have Frost for map number 1 here. Or again, a big map. It's kind of sad that we just see the same 4 maps used out of the map pool. At least at least we're 100% going to see Habitation Station. Actually, I guess
Yeah.
we did see Altazine before. Yeah, the problem with the map pool is when you have vetoes, like you just see the same 3 maps again and again. Like,
Yeah, because some maps are better for certain types of play, and some others are worse. Or I
yeah,
should
but
say, like you want to avoid certain maps than to play on some others. You just don't want to play on some maps, so you always veto them out.
yeah, I don't know though, because like Frost, Polar Knight, Heavy Rain seem to be used every single time basically.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just crazy.
true.
I just think like Daedalus Point, for example, is just like bad, right? We're never really gonna ever see Daedalus too often. Altazim is too different, I think. It takes a lot more practice
Mm.
to get Altazim on lockdown, so why play it so much if you can just veto it out each time?
Yeah,
Compared to like the other maps, because if you play 10 games on Altazim and then go and play 10 games on like Polar Knight, you play completely different. But if you play 10 games on Polar Knight and then come to even Frost, it's different, but it's not 100% different because Frost is large. It's 4 players, but it's not ridiculously large like Altazim with in-base naturals.
mm. That's true. That's absolutely true. Now Select trying to go back with the Reaper for an additional scout, but Pink doing a very good job of trying to deny that scout. He did go for an immediate robo facility after the second Stalker, and he's just now getting a sentry, and that should be the last unit he'll ever get. Maybe another sentry so that he does have 2, but he really doesn't need any more than that. And we also have a Forge finally. Select did get the full scout there. And we should see an observer being built here from the Robo facility. This is a pretty large map, so the Protoss player ideally wants to have observer coverage of all the incoming medevac flight paths, so that you don't get dropped. Because on this map, when you get dropped, I mean, if you take a third over here in between the cliffs, and you get dropped in the main, and then you get harassed from above the ledge at your third and then dropped somewhere else, it's just horrible to deal with. Having a lot of observers kind of helps to mitigate that.
Yeah. We actually see Pink going into 2 gateways here, which I'd say is, about the right timing.
Yeah,
It's not He's not as he could have got him a bit later, but what else does he really need to cut gateways for? Nothing really at this point. I mean, he's going to go into Twilight Cat. Oh wow, he's actually going for Robobay. Now that's something I was not expecting at all.
You know, Select, he did get 2 additional barracks at the start of the game instead of just 1 barracks, which we normally see. Now, this is the type of play that kind of tells you that Select wanted to be sure he would not die as easily to some type of 2-base all-in or blink plays or something like that, so he did get an additional barracks here. And he is going to push with this. He's going to try to bait out an overcharge from the Mothership Core. There are 2 sentries and 2 stalkers. Select is going to have to be very careful in how he approaches the situation, because with good force fields and a photon overcharge, a lot of these Marines can go down. But oh, will he actually get the Mothership Core? Pink not having the Mothership Core in the best of locations, and he did lose 1 stalker there, but it's not like Select can push into this while those sentries are still alive.
Yeah, now he starts up his Colossus production. You know, he's not in any danger. He's got a couple of zealots, he's got a couple of force fields available for an overcharge, still active. And he goes into a blink. He now goes into blink as well. Now, do you reckon this is just a 2-base push ball?
No. I don't think so. He's getting armor, so he wants to have a good zealot presence, which, you know, and he delayed the extended thermal lenses so that he could get the blink without interrupting the Colossus production. And I think this this is a 3-base play actually. He'll go into a 3rd base and try to defend versus drops with the blink play. He'll get the +1 attack and rely on zealot weapons to defend and maybe even to harass. And when he takes the 3rd, he'll go into storm.
The blink is so nice to just you know, defend the drops with. You know, jump from your main, jump to your 3rd, wherever you need to be, especially on this map. And you know, with the observer coverage he has as well, it's going to be very hard for Select to actually sneak any drops in.
You know what? Select is not getting a 3rd command center. He's adding on 2 additional barracks.
He is not. And, you know, that generally means he's going to be a little bit more aggressive. Now, he could do 2 things. He could take a later 3rd command center.
Yeah.
And just, you know, have more units so that he can be a little bit more aggressive. Or he can go for a just an SCV pull. Now, I'd also like to point out, Pink's not going up to 6 gateways.
Yeah, that's about the standard number of gateways you want to have off of 2 bases. The thermal lances will be finishing, and I really expect to see a 3rd base, especially with the 2nd forge being added on right now.
Yeah, I think now is the time you want to take a 3rd base, but you've got to remember Pink's seen in the main base. I think he's, unless I'm mistaken, no, in fact he hasn't. So Pink's just being safe though, like, and that's what I was going to say. He's going up to 6 gateways, which is nice because he's not trying to take the 3rd too quickly. He's making sure
going
he's
to
got
scout for the
everything
3rd timing. He sees the 3rd is going down.
But very late.
Yeah, it's quite late.
Really late 3rd. So he knows now that 5 racks on the map. He knows the kind of aggression that can come from this, and he knows the possibility of an SCV pull is here as well. So what I'd like to see him do is just keep on building Colossi, not kind of cut Colossi too quickly. He's also going to try and take his own 3rd base, but thinks twice about it as he sees this army getting into position here.
Yeah,
so
he needs
he needs a few more
zealots.
zealots.
It's
charge would be nice as well, but
he is getting charged, but I think, you know, he needs more zealots. He does not want to waste too much gas on building additional sentries. He still has those 2 from the beginning of the game. They have 4 force fields each, almost. So, you know, versus this without Vikings, I mean, there are 2 Colossi out, and here comes the warping of zealots joining with this army, and now with the 3rd Colossus, Select cannot engage this army. He has to, if he wants to be aggressive right now, he has to start dropping. And he can actually queue up a double-pronged attack. He's got 2 medevacs that are loading up units from his main base, and he's got this little force of 4 medevacs in the bottom. If he could end up successfully sneaking 2 medevacs into the main and 2 into the natural, that could prove problematic to defend for.
I think he might just try and run into the 3rd base with the ones on the bottom left.
Or that.
He's actually sending. I'm kind of intrigued. He's actually got.
Oh
okay,
my
so he's
god.
got 4 medevacs, right? Okay, I'm just kind of
This is going to be seen, Wardy. This is going to be seen
because the observer placement is top notch by Pink. He invests into a lot of observers early, and it will pay off for him. But how quickly can he react? I mean, he's got these stalkers kind of close by. But
oh, he's trying to defend the 3rd base.
late.
He's not paying attention to the main base. The stalkers are out there, but versus 4 medevacs worth of units, they're not going to do too much.
Not a chance. Pink needs to send at least a Colossi up here. I mean, these zealots are just going to absolutely melt. There's just not enough firepower here at all. Double throat and overcharge use both in the natural and the main, and they're actually both going to start fighting here. And Well, you know what? Select gets turned around. A nice
Wow.
slow defense by Pink. And I can't help but feel that maybe Select should have sacked the units to snipe the Twilight Council, snipe the Robo Bay, and then
Yeah,
keep us
something.
get out, instead of trading for Gateway units. Because Gateway units isn't really what we want to trade for, because he can reproduce them very, very quickly. I mean, it's
You
just
know,
pure zealot.
he just continues with these drops, and this is going to really tax Pink's multitasking and his attention to detail and his attention to the minimap, his ability to split his army correctly. And I have to wonder, I mean, Select is one of those old school Terran players from the Wings of Liberty era when this type of play was really, really dominant for a long time. Really micro-intensive battles as we were fighting on lower number of bases. If he keeps this up, do you think he is going to maybe succeed in cracking Pink in terms of catching him off guard or pulling him out of position?
The thing is, I just don't think he will, because you can see Pink's already now, this time, he's got Stalkers in his main base. He can blink on top of Medevac so much faster than before, and he knows that Select wants to play this drop-heavy style, and so he's just saying, well, you know, come on then, let's play this drop-heavy style. I'll start defending a lot better. And I mean, this fourth base might get sniped out, but that's the least of his worries right now, because the Terran fort is only halfway completed, so...
Yeah, and another thing is
the
that...
main again, but so many zealots.
Yeah, this will have to be loaded up, and with Blink, you know, those medevacs can be chased down. Select not paying attention though, as he's focusing on trying to attack the third and the fourth at the same time. He will successfully kill the fourth base. No cancel there, but losing a lot of units. Oh, actually scratch that. In the main base, he might
this
even...
is whoa! No, he's gonna save me. Oh, just loses his fourth
barely.
base. But I think overall this is a good. I mean, Pink didn't like. He didn't lose anything major. He, you know.
Now here's the thing.
Base.
No, he didn't. He just lost some units, and he lost 400 minerals on that Nexus. But here's the thing: Select basically had to keep on attacking because his Viking production was so late. And even now, his Vikings numbers are not that high. He only has 8 Vikings. This is not entirely sufficient versus 5 Colossus army. And he only has 3 ghosts. We have Storm finished, bear in mind, and we have 4 High Templars with this army. If Pink is going to be careful and does not let those HTs be EMP, those are the only ones he has right now, by the way. You should never do this as a Protoss. You should always have a backup group of HTs scattered around your bases, so that when the engagement is not going well for you, you can immediately reinforce with those HTs storm capable, and you can hold using the storms. I mean, hopefully hold, if your reinforcements are good enough. And Select is going to start offensively planetaring this choke. This might be a problem.
I mean, this just becomes harder for. Well, okay, it's gonna die, but
never mind.
I mean, it would have made it harder for Pink to push on into. I mean, he's gonna lose maybe a zealot for this, but maybe not even a zealot in the end. So, I mean, that's a nice little denial here by Pink. He's setting up pylons to the bottom right, getting ready to attack, but drop into his fourth base. He can start picking off some cannons, but we're gonna have the main engagement coming down, Valinor.
And we have a huge engagement at Select's base here. Aggressive Blink forward to take care of the Vikings. Select is trying to fight from the high ground. 1 Colossus will be only remaining here. The Storms have all been depleted. And Archons have been morphed, but this is too much Protoss, I feel like, and Select is going to... He's going to die here.
This is brutal. I mean, what can I say? Like, GG. What great engagement by Pink. I mean, during that time, Select actually cleared out his fourth base, but it didn't actually matter. Like, Pink